अस्सलाम वालेकुम। आज की इस वीडियो में मैं आपके साथ शेयर करूंगी द मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट 100 MCQs रिलेटेड टू पंजाब लैंड रेवेन्यू एक्ट 1967। ये SDEO PERA के एग्ज़ाम में भी जो ला का पेपर है उसमें भी आपको बहुत हेल्प आउट करेगा। स्टार्ट करते हैं। फर्स्ट MCQs है, व्हाट इज़ द लिमिटेशन ऑफ अपील टू बोर्ड ऑफ रेवेन्यू अंडर पंजाब एंड लैंड रेवेन्यू एक्ट 1967? 90 days. There are how many classes of revenue officers as per section 7 of Land Revenue Act? 6 classes. Statement of rights in wells and tube wells is included in the register Roznamcha. Which document out of the following is not part of periodical record? List of habitual defaulters. On which date inspection of Rabi harvest should begin? 1st of March. The types of revenue offices are 5. Period of Rabi crops ends in April and May. Register Hatdaran Nakhlistan is included in the record of rights. A charge upon or claim against land arising out of a private grant or contract is termed as encumbrance. On which date inspection of Kharif harvest should begin? 1st of October. What is the limitation of appeal to the collector under Punjab Land Revenue Act 1967? 30 days. Within how much period after acquisition of any right in land as a landowner, one is required to make a report under the Punjab Land Revenue Act regarding acquisition of his right? 3 months. Statement of customs wajibul arz is included in the register Taqseem-e Kasht. Lambardar is given -% of land revenue which is called Pachotra, 5% of land revenue. What is the period of limitation and appeal before the Board of Revenue? 90 days. Under which section of Punjab Land Revenue Act 1967 the computerized record shall be prepared? 41A. What is the included in the record of rights of an estate under the Punjab Land Revenue Act? Statement showing names of persons who are landowners and their rights in the land in their possession. An application under the section 17 of the Tenancy Act for the division or appraisement of produce is exclusively cognizable by revenue officer having jurisdiction in the matter. The unirrigated land which are affected by flooding or moisture of rivers are called sailabi. When the Land Acquisition Act came into force on 1st of March 1894. Under which para of land record manual revenue officer is responsible for correction of filed maps? Para 3.12. Who is the highest revenue officer under the Punjab Land Revenue Act? Board of Revenue. What is the maximum limit of village officers' chess to be imposed on any state under the Punjab Land Revenue Act? 5% of the land revenue. A share or portion of any state held by one landowner or jointly by 2 or more landowners is holding. The assessment of land revenue remain in force for -years, 25 years. A revenue officer, in order to undertake measurement of land, can enter the premises used for dwelling purposes with the permission of collector. Who is empowered to issue preliminary notification under section 40 of the Land Acquisition Act to the effect that land in any locality need for a public purpose for a company? Collector of district. Who can entertain and dispose of application for division of the produce between tenant and landlord where there is a dispute about the division of produce under the Punjab Tenancy Act? Board of Revenue. Under which section of Punjab Land Revenue Act 1967 revenue officer may summon the person, give evidence and produce documents? Under the 22 section. The second inspection of crops in the month of February is called Rabi Girdwari. A tenant who has made improvement in his tenancy with the consent of the landlord is entitled to compensation at the time of his ejectment for installing a tube well in the land. Within how many days a landowner may present a petition to the revenue officer for a reconsideration of the amount, Form or conditions of the assessment of revenue 30 days. The income a nation collects from taxes is called revenue. A tenant having a right of occupancy in land may sublet a land or any part thereof for a term not exceeding 5 years. A revenue officer is required to make an order under subsection 6 of section 42 of the Land Revenue Act within 3 months. A person liable for an arrear of land revenue has been homed by Land Revenue Act as defaulter. What is the period of limitation and appeal before the Commissioner? 60 days. When the period of Kharif crops start in Pakistan, May and June. The deputy of Tehsildar is known as Naib Tehsildar. Revenue administration of a tehsil is entrusted to Tehsildar. Which section of Land Revenue Act deals with preparation of computerized records? Section 41. The period of Rabi crop starts in Pakistan in the months of October and November. Who is village officer under the Punjab Land Revenue Act? Village headman, Lambardar. Fard Badr is to be sanctioned by additional district collector. What is the limitation for suit by a landlord for arrears of rent under the Punjab Tenancy Act? 1 year from the day rent becomes due. Rabi is also known as spring harvest. Which land held in common cannot be allowed by the revenue officer to be the Punjab Land Revenue Act, any place of worship or burial ground. Which law has abolished land revenue in the province of Punjab? The Punjab Land Revenue Act 1998. Whom ibtidai tasdeeq of register Haqdaran Zameen is carried out? Patwari. Power to deposit rent in certain cases rests with revenue officer. A tenant having a right of occupancy in land may sublet the land fully or any part thereof for a period not more than 7 years. A notice issued by the court under section 20 of the Land Acquisition Act shall be served upon all the person interested in the objection. Who is the competent to give final decision on the objections against acquisition of land? Commissioner. Who is empowered by Section 5 of the Land Acquisition Act to issue notification to the effect that any particular land included in the locality notified under Section 400 of the Act is needed for a public purpose? Executive District Officer of Revenue. The words with the previous sanction of the Governor General in Council deleted by the Punjab courts. Who may pass orders for preparation of register Haqdaran Zameen if the same does not exist earlier? Board of Revenue. Kharif is also known as autumn harvest. The unirrigated land which depends on rainfall for cultivation is called Barani. Objection against the acquisition of land shall be made to in writing collector. Which para of land record manual guides with regard to preparation of Tatima Shajra? Para 4.33. The land which is irrigated from water of wells is called Chahi. The Land Revenue Act enforced on 7th of December 1967. Who can appoint collector of the district under the Punjab Land Revenue Act? Government. Bar of relief by suit under Section 9, Act 1 of 1877. Lambardar is the most important functionary at level village. Index of survey or khasra number is included in register periodical record. Punjab Tenancy Act was enacted on 23rd of September 1887. Under which section of Punjab Land Revenue Act 1967, Board of Revenue may make sites for demarcation of boundaries and creation of boundary makes? Under section 121. The court, while determining compensation, shall not take the consideration the damage sustained by the person by reason of acquisition injuriously affecting his either property. An application for the partition of joint holding can be filed by a co-sharer, who can summon persons to give evidence and produce documents. Board of Revenue. When the period of Kharif crops ends in Pakistan, September and October. Which chapter of Land Revenue Act reveals with the assessment of land revenue? 7. Under which para of Land Record Manual Summary Inquiry into the title of inheritance is necessary? Para 7.36. On which of the following reasons Lambardar cannot be dismissed? Property dispute with family members. The first 6 monthly inspection of crops in the month of October is called Kharif Girdwari. Who is empowered to another or any person the powers of collector under the Punjab Land Revenue Act? Government. Which land is excluded from the operation of the Punjab Land Revenue Act? Land occupies as a site of a village. Under which para of Land Record Manual duplicate copy of mutation would be prepared when the original has been misplaced or lost? Para 7.40. Before who appeal lies against order of an assistant collector of the second grade under the Punjab Tenancy Act? Collector. The Land Revenue Act is comprised of how many sections? 184. What is the date of commencement of agriculture year under the Punjab Land Revenue Act? First day of July. The arrears of land revenue may be recovered by sale of the holding under Section 88 of the Land Revenue. The land which is irrigated from tanks, jheels, streams or springs is called Abi. Who is authorized to define the limits of any state, holding or field for framing any record or making assessment of revenue? District Collector. What is the period of limitation and appeal before collector? 30 days. Who is empowered by the Section 5 of the Land Acquisition Act issue notification to the effect that any particular land included in a locality notified under Section 4(1) of the Act is needed for a company? Collector of the district. What is generally the date when agriculture year under the Punjab commences? 16th day of June. An appeal under Section 81 of the Tenancy Act to the collector can be filed within 30 days of the order appealed against. The land revenue rules were framed in 1988, upon whom it is obligatory to carry out 100% inspection or partal of Gurdwari, Patwari. A person of whom the land revenue of any land has been assigned in whole or in part by the government is village headman, who can order withdrawal of a case pending before the Executive District Officer Revenue under the Punjab Land Revenue Act, Board of Revenue. In which court the appeal against mutation may be filed? Assistant Commissioner. What is the limitation of appeal to the Act 1967? Commissioner under Punjab Land Revenue, 60 days. Which of the following is not defined in the Land Revenue Act of 1967? Kanungo. Hereditary Lambardari system was abolished by Supreme Court of Pakistan. The Register of Crops Inspection is called Khasra Girdwari. Which court the appeal against consolidation scheme may be filed? Additional Commissioner Consolidation. Who is empowered to issue notification directing that the existing record of rights for an estate be specially revised under the Punjab Land Revenue Act, Board of Revenue.